I got suspended today, 10 games. I went through the appeal process, looked at what that appeal process is going to look like. I thought I was going to get in front of a neutral arbitrator, but I wasn't. I was going to be through MLB. So, given that process, it wasn't going to come out on top. Given that, the best thing for the Mets, I'm gonna follow what the Mets wanted me to do, and that was to accept the suspension and come to a settlement with that. I came in a settlement with MLB on what the fine should be and move forward in that. So that's the best thing for the Mets at this point in time.
Starts tonight.
Yes.
Just given what you've talked about yesterday, how difficult is that to just accept it?
Extremely difficult. For me, I hope that we can modify the rule. We want the intent of this rule was try to clean up the game of clean up the stuff that was really causing spin rates to spike and all that stuff. I don't think it was intended to crack down on pitchers that were using legal substances. I used legal substances. I did it. I did it. For me, I wish there was a modification to bring spin rates into play to be able to let that be the threshold of when the umpire can check. That to me, that's what you guys asked me about. That's what we talked about yesterday. Is hey, I'm pitching, but my spin rates are, in a normal range. I still don't understand how I'm deemed cheating or guilty of that without that going on. So, like I said, hopefully cooler heads can prevail here in the future, and we can make an adjustment to this rule. So that we can make the game better.
The league contended that even if it's just rosin in excess, it's illegal, and they said that you were in excess. Do you think that's a fair assertion based on what you had in your hand, your glove, etc.?
Like I said, I used rosin, and I could have gone out there right before I took the field. I grabbed my hair for sweat, and that's the exact process I did going in the third inning. In the third inning, Phil checked my hand. He saw that it was rosin, basically the powder. And, after I made it through that check, I grabbed some sweat from my hair and went and pitched, and we deemed that's a clean inning. I basically did the same process, except I grabbed my hair for sweat and went out there for a check. And, yeah, my hand was sticky. That's what happens when you mix sweat and rosin. And it was sticky. I'm not here to say it wasn't, but that's legal. Like, I don't there's nothing else there. And so, yeah, it was sticky. So, like, I understand where Phil's coming from, but this is bigger than Phil. I was saying, how is the rule being applied? And if, my spin rates are fine, my spin rates are in a legal range, why is the check even happening? That's my vantage point.
Max, even if you believe that you would not come out on top, why was this the right time in your mind or in the Mets' minds to take those 10 games rather than maybe pushing an appeal and pitching a little while longer here before taking it?
I think when somebody said it was just the schedule, the way the teams that we're going to face. I got a chance to face Atlanta, so if I get through this, get over it, get this in the rearview mirror, I can get out there and go out there and compete against our division.
You'll plan to start on that Monday, that May 1, right after they 11.
I don't know. I haven't gotten that far. I've been, like I said, I've been blown through phone calls trying to understand everything, all the options here, and trying to understand what this looks like.
Was the amount of rosin or the level of stickiness yesterday normal for you?
It can be like that in a day game. The whole there's no like uniform stickiness. There's no like. See, the umpires are. This is part of one of my frustrations too. Is that the umpires are given classes on what they're looking for and this and that, whereas MLB says, "Here's your rosin bag, use sweat. Don't use pine tar, don't use sunscreen, but here's the rosin, use sweat." So that's what we do. There's no objective, like quantifiable measurement of stickiness, of tackiness, and so what can be deemed legal one inning is all of a sudden deemed illegal in the next inning just by applying sweat. So that's my problem with this. That's what happened.
Max, the league apparently sent out a memo to clubs about rosin ahead of the season. Was that something that players, were you aware of that as well?
Yeah, you're aware of it, but you're thinking of using pine tar and all the other substances. Like, that's how you read it, interpret it. Yeah, you can use rosin, but like, rosin is different in different environments. What you do in Miami is different than what happens in a cold day in New York, which is different than what happens in a day in LA. It's an it gets sticky in inconsistent ways. I think that's one of the reasons why MLB is even exploring a sticky ball to try to even the playing fields between the cities. That's one of the issues with rosin. I ran into a situation in LA where, the previous start I was in New York where it was windy and cold, didn't have a lot of sticks. Spin rates were down. My spin rates were down that start. I get to LA in a day game, hot, sunny. All of a sudden, the rosin's is working more, and that's what happened.